kitchen, afternoon repeats and the permeates in the country.
Welcome to my country kitchen. I'm going to make a delicious, scrumptious raspberry and rosewater cream pie today, and I'm going to decorate it with some rose petals from my garden. But first, because we're on the 6th take, because I keep going wrong, I've just remembered a bit of a pie issue. In here, I've got my beef and smoked oyster pie, which is totally wonderful and ready. And this is going to feed the crew a little bit later on because I have to keep them happy, so I look my best. In this little bowl here, we're going to pop about half of these raspberries and mash them down because this is going to be the base of the pie. Earlier on, I made some lovely pâte sucrée pastry, which is just like a sugar pastry, which is just here. And I lined it in and I blind baked it. And into that, because this is a really quick assembly pudding, I'm going to add a ton, well, a little bit, of lovely whipped, very lightly whipped double cream. You don't want to over whip this, because if you over whip it, you get butter. But that's fine, we can use that for a bit of frying later. And then also, this is Greek yogurt here. This is the full fat one, but they do a much lower fat version, which is great. It tastes just as good. And this little secret ingredient, this has been used for centuries actually, it's rose water. It actually used to be used as a bit of a skin freshener, so you can just pop a little bit behind your ears, it smells great. Or you can put it in this tart. Now we just need a few drops, because what you want to have is not rose water hitting you in the face the moment you actually take a bite into the tart. You want it just to come on a little bit later. Gently then now fold in the rest. So you can see it all comes together beautifully. It's a lovely pink colour, because I don't know if you've actually noticed, but pink is my favourite colour. It's everywhere, isn't it? I'm even wearing it on my cardi. Lipstick pink, love it. Love it to death. Right. This now gets transferred into my pre-cooked flan case. And what I quite like is the fact that I haven't completely folded in all the raspberries. What we've got is a slightly marbled effect, so you can actually see that there are raspberries in there. Just pop on the rest of the raspberries. Any old way, it doesn't have to be uniform. Scattergun approach is best. And then, on top of this, I'm going to use a little bit of my homemade raspberry jam, because I make all those sort of things here. Do lots of preserves. When all the apples fall off the trees in the autumn, I start making jellies and chutneys, all that sort of stuff. You know, live off the land, it's the way to go. And in here is a little bit of raspberry jam that I made earlier in the season. See it? Lovely and clear. Now what I've done is, because you can notice there's no seeds in it, so I actually strained it through a sieve, because I don't want seeds on top of here. All I want is that beautiful bright red jelly. Now it's warm, because it's been sitting on my oven, and I'm just going to dribble it over a few of the raspberries. I love roses. I have a bit of an obsession with roses. I keep seeing plants, I'll buy another plant, and I've got hedgerows of them. And they carry on all summer, right through to sort of October, early November. And all you need to do with roses, because you can eat them, is use them a lot in decoration. And you can see behind me, I actually use them on top of little fairy cakes or cupcakes, along with a bit of glitter. I put them everywhere, salads, the lot. Well, I'm going to put them on here today. So just finish off the tart with a few of these. And actually what's nice is to have 2 different colours as well. Cornish pasties, one of the most British things you can eat. They're a portable food, and in the olden days we used to take them down to the mines, certainly in Cornwall, obviously hence the name Cornish pasty, but they were taken down into the mines. At one end you had sort of meat and onions, the other end you may have had apple or a bit of jam, so it was just entirely one meal in one. I'm not going to put the jam in today because frankly, not so good. But what I'm going to do is do a slight twist on them. We're going to use some minced lamb and some lovely sweet potatoes, which I think are very, very underused in British cooking and absolutely delicious. And then some onions, which I've just sweated down or cooked down very gently for about 15 minutes in some butter and some maple syrup. And they've gone cool because I want to add them cold to my raw meat. And also we're going to pop into that lots of lovely fresh parsley. I tell you what I do with parsley. I quite often buy it in the supermarket when it's got a reduced sticker on it, a big bunch of it, nothing wrong with it. Take it home, Pop it into your whizzer, your food processor, and give it a good whiz until it's finely chopped. Bag it up and keep it in the freezer. And then you've always got chopped parsley to hand, and it's a great way of saving money. And now some sweet potato, as I mentioned. You know, this came over to Britain before the Virginia potato, about 25 years before, but we've really not used it until sort of the last 20 years. Has it been that prevalent in our diet? But I think it's one of the most beautiful potatoes. Lovely soft flavour to it. It's absolutely divine. And now the onion. It goes in. Now the smell coming off this is absolutely wonderful. I love maple syrup and I love cooking it with onions. This whole onion mix, if you made sort of triple batch and put that in the bottom of a flan case and covered it with sort of a quiche eggy mixture, gorgeous. So just mix that all together. And just a little bit of seasoning now. Some salt and some pepper. Sea salt's best. If it's quite granular like this, just give it a bit of a rub through your fingertips. It's lovely salty salt. And some pepper, so ground black pepper. That goes in too. So, squidge it all down. And that's your filling complete. Now over to the pastry. I made this pastry in my food processor. It can be done by hand, but in the food processor it's just so quick and easy. 6 ounces of plain flour, 5 ounces of butter. You whiz together until they just come to breadcrumbs, and then you pop in 7 tablespoons of sour cream. Mix it until it just comes together on a board very, very quickly, and then leave it to chill for at least an hour overnight if you want to. That's absolutely fine. It also freezes brilliantly. Really, really good. So we're going to roll this out onto a board. First of all, I'm just going to divide it into 4 because this was silly, wasn't it? Now I've got a lot of parsley on my sour cream pastry. You don't want to do that at home. That was a typically blonde moment I just had then. Anyway, divide it into 4. And we roll each of them out separately. I've done this quite a few times and I think this is just the easiest way to go because then you get the best thickness. So you want to roll it out until it's this size of a plate. So we've got a little perfect circle there, even if it is slightly garnished with a little bit of chopped parsley. And then we just get a good quarter of the minced lamb. Okay. And just gather it together in your hands. Actually, it's probably a little bit much there. Just squidge it down. So this is the traditional way of making the pastas. You gather up the pastry over the top and you squeeze it together all the way down, and exactly on the other side too. You get sort of, it's like a crescent shape. And I tell you, if there was a Cornish man watching this right now, he'd be happy. How could he not be happy? Oh, these are really, really delicious. So let's have a little look at my lovely pasties. Oh, fantastic. Look at that, wonderful. Half an hour in the oven, and then you've got some delicious pasties. So let's have a little open up and see inside. Oh, look at that, delicious. The meat, sweet potato, caramelised onion, divine pastry in my mouth. How hot. Hot. No, I tell you, just go away now, you can leave me because I'm actually going to eat this entire pasty myself. Go on, go. That's for later, we're not having that now.
There's your fly.
Where? Where's he gone?
I don't know, it must be feeding time.
You want for tennis?
I didn't think they have kitchens.
Tiny kitchens.
Is that a fly spot?
Yeah, it's a fly spot. Actually, it's for beating the cameraman.